You're watching South Asia Newsline and have the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 12th of February. India's UPI services introduced in Sri Lanka and Mauritius. Qatar releases ex-Navy personnel in big diplomatic win for India. And with no clear winner in polls, coalition talks loom in Pakistan. And now for all the details. Days after UPI-Unified Payments Interface was installed in France, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi jointly launched UPI and Rupay Services in Sri Lanka and Mauritius in a virtual ceremony. The event witnessed Mauritius Prime Minister Pravind Jugnauth and Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe in attendance. The launch will enable the availability of UPI settlement services for Indian nationals visiting Sri Lanka and Mauritius, as well as for Mauritian nationals coming to India. PM Modi said it is an important event for the three countries in the Indian Ocean region, as it will not only strengthen cross-border transactions but also cross-border connections.
इंडियन ओशन क्षेत्र के 3 मित्र देशों के लिए आज एक विशेष दिन है। अपने ऐतिहासिक संबंधों को आज हम आधुनिक डिजिटल रूप से जोड़ रहे हैं। ये हमारे लोगों के विकास के लिए हमारे कमिटमेंट का प्रमाण है।
UPI has become hugely popular for retail digital payments in India, and its adoption is increasing at a rapid pace. So far, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, France, UAE and Singapore have partnered with India for UPI. In a significant development, India on Monday secured the release of 8 former Navy personnel who were sentenced to death by Qatar government for alleged espionage. Notably, 7 veterans have returned back to India and the 8th one is expected to land soon. The Navy veterans were reportedly employed by a company based in the Middle Eastern nation, and their bail pleas were rejected several times. The capital punishment was later commuted to an extended prison term following diplomatic intervention by India's foreign ministry. Heaping praise on Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the veteran said the release would not have been possible without his personal intervention. Notably, PM Modi had met with Amir of Qatar on the sidelines of COP28 summit in Dubai in December. The deepening economic ties with Qatar may have contributed to this release.
वाकई बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि वापस इंडिया पहुंच गए हम सेफ एंड साउंड और डेफिनेटली ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री मोदी को धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे कि उनके पर्सनल इंटरवेंशन से ये पॉसिबल हुआ.
Moving on, farmers from India's northern breadbasket states of Punjab and Haryana on Monday began driving towards New Delhi a day ahead of their protest to press for better crop prices promised to them in 2021, when thousands of growers camped out on major highways leading to the country's capital. The farmers have demanded a law on MSP, minimum support price, among other protections from the government.
मांगे वही है, एमएसपी खरीद की गारंटी का कानून बनाएं, डॉक्टर स्वामीनाथन कमीशन की रिपोर्ट के अनुसार फसलों के दाम दें.
In the wake of the major protests, security in Haryana and around the borders of New Delhi was tightened and roads were also blocked. Barriers including barbed wire fencing and cement blocks were put in reminiscent of the protest in 2021. Some government ministers were expected to meet farm union leaders to avoid a repeat of the year-long protest aimed at forcing the government to repeal farm laws designed to deregulate vast agricultural markets. With Pakistan's national election ending with no political party winning a majority, former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif-led PML-N has pitched the idea of participatory coalition government. The only option is to build a federal government with PML-N support, the Dawn News quoted former Law Minister Azam Nazir Tarar as saying. The PML-N leader said the party has begun talks with its erstwhile allies to form government, which he said is larger interest of Pakistan. The South Asian nation, which held the election earlier last week, is facing numerous challenges that need to be addressed quickly, including negotiating a new IMF program to keep a struggling $350 billion economy afloat. With an election deadlock and bitter rivals Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan declaring victory, the uncertainty about the future has dragged on. Pakistan's army, the most powerful and organized force in the country, which in past had stepped in to restore order, has already called on political parties to show maturity and unity. Moving on, members of the National Students Federation in POK recently took to streets to protest inflated electricity bills and floor shortage in the region. The occupied territory has been witnessing unrest over these issues for the past 1 year now. A report.
A massive protest rally was held recently by members of NSF, the National Students Federation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, against inflated electricity bills and high prices of flour and its shortage in the region. The protesters said despite producing around 4,000 megawatts of electricity, they are not given any benefits. Instead, they have to face prolonged power cuts and hefty bills. They are also fed up due to the ongoing wheat crisis.
बिल्कुल ये आटा पुराने रेटों में मिल रहा है 1600 रुपये 20 किलो का 32 रुपये मन मिल रहा है। वो आटे के वो जून वाले रेट हैं जो जून 2022 में थे। ये जून 2023 से हमारी तहरीक स्टार्ट है, वो ज़ोरों शोर से जारी है, लेकिन रेट वही पुराने बिजली के भी आटे के भी।
Locals in POK say they are being forced to bear the brunt of Pakistan's economic crisis in the form of hike in taxes and shortage of essential commodities, and they see no relief in near future.
And rejecting the India Out campaign by certain sections, Bangladesh Foreign Minister Hassan Mahmood has said for the prosperity of the country as well as the region, it is important to have good relations with the neighbors. Hassan, who was interacting with media during his official visit to India, highlighted anti-India elements diminishing in Bangladesh as people are getting aware about the importance of better relations with its neighbor. He said while the Awami League is painted as a pro-Indian party, the ruling party is pro-Bangladeshi. The comments came amid a spearing online campaign against India. Opposition BNP senior leader Ruhul Kabir Rizvi, in an interview to Nikkei Asia, recently accused India of interfering in Bangladesh's internal issues, including the recent elections. And braving the winter chill, hundreds of ardent Hindu devotees recently gathered at the Pashupatinath temple in Nepal to perform rituals of month-long religious festival of Sri Swasthani Vrat Katha. The annual festival dedicated to Lord Madhav Narayan is marked by reading of religious texts and fasting. After the prayers, the devotees set off for a 15-day cycle of religious journey towards Shangu Narayan temple. Devotees who observe fast during the festival do not eat foods cooked by others. They only eat rice, sugar, peas, amongst others considered sacred. On the final day of the penance, all the offerings made to different gods are immersed in water bodies.
नारायणको कठिन र कठोर व्रत हो यो व्रत। यो व्रतमा चाहिँ 1 महिनासम्म व्रतालु भक्तजनहरू एक छाक मात्र खाएर चाहिँ मतलब चाहिँ व्रत बस्ने चीज हो। यसमा पनि विशेष खाने मात्र खान मिल्छ, धेरै थोक हुँदैन, जम्मा 9 थरी 10 थरीको मात्र खाना हुन्छ र नुन यसमा पटक्कै 1 महिनासम्म छुनै हुँदैन र यो परम्परादेखि चलिआएको व्रत हिसाबले आज जुन 15औं दिनमा हाम्रो परदेश यात्राको क्रमको लागि चाहिँ हिजो हामी बेलुका साल नदीबाट पैदल यात्रा गर्दै सम्पूर्ण व्रतालु भक्तजनहरू।
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.